There's no rule that you must have 3 warnings before someone's out.
What's the deal on the employee having to have 3 warnings before termination can take place?
In simple terms and answers, no, there's no rule that you must have 3 warnings before someone's out. There's no requirement from a legislation perspective. However, to determine if you've got adequate warnings or evidence comes down to looking at the seriousness of the situation, the conduct that has occurred, the employee's history, the risk of what's gone on, and whether improvement is possible. So you don't need to have 3 warnings. That person might have 1 warning or 2 warnings or no warnings on file, and termination is considered the appropriate action. Instead of counting on the number of warnings, focus on the procedural fairness. If we terminate here today, is it fair and reasonable to back our decision and action? Because for example, if there was clear evidence of fraud, that would be deemed serious misconduct and you can terminate without any prior history. However, if the situation was failure to follow company process or lack of response to our client communication or making mistakes in a spreadsheet consistently or lateness every Monday and Tuesday or things like that, that I would not sit here and recommend terminate. That would be a warning, and that I would need a couple of warnings before you pull the trigger. So it comes down to procedural fairness and assessing the situation, the risk, and what would be deemed fair and reasonable, and making sure that the termination is not considered harsh and unjust.